As Sam delves into her task of assessing the building for demolition, she explores its complex structure, examining the various apartments and the unique features of Malestrazza's design. As she proceeds, her investigations lead her to a series of chilling discoveries. She uncovers the haunting history of the building, which includes a series of unexplained disappearances and gruesome murders that occurred in 1993. 16 people, including men, women, and children, were reported missing. Their gruesome fate was eventually revealed. They had been sealed within small compartments. The tension in the building escalates as Sam's interactions with the remaining tenant, who opposes the demolition, grow increasingly confrontational. This tenant takes issue with the planned destruction of the building, making Sam's job even more challenging. At night, Sam is guided by Jimmy to the forbidden 8th floor, where Malestrazza's tragic history is revealed. Jimmy explains that the architect's body was discovered within the building's walls after his death, and his face was rendered unrecognizable due to the cement. Jimmy's mother, Mary, had the heartbreaking task of identifying Malestrazza's remains. Among the 16 victims sealed within the building, there was a small child named Julie, whose room Sam had previously noticed. Jimmy discloses that his father was also one of the victims, and he shows Sam the wall where his father's body was found. During this conversation, the lights go out, causing Sam to panic and accidentally cut her leg. Jimmy helps tend to her wound, but his intentions become evident when he makes advances towards her. Sam firmly tells him to stop, maintaining her boundaries. Later, while looking in the mirror, Sam notices the glass shaking violently behind her, hinting at eerie and unexplained phenomena within the Malestrazza building. The building's dark history and the growing tension between the characters create an atmosphere of suspense and unease. She awakens to find herself in her apartment, realizing that it was only a dream. Unable to sleep further, startled when Peter, her boyfriend, suddenly appears. It's clear that the eerie history of the building has been affecting her psyche. Later, Sam takes Peter on a secret visit to the forbidden 8th floor, where they stumble upon a hidden passageway leading to a room. This room seems designed for secret surveillance of the building's residents. Sam concludes that Jimmy has been spying on her, particularly while she's taking a bath. She decides to discuss this matter with Mary, and Jimmy, feeling embarrassed, walks away. That evening, Sam and Peter spend time together, further intensifying Jimmy's jealousy. The following day, as Sam prepares to leave the apartment, she packs her belongings and completes her report on the amount of explosives required for the building's demolition. Jimmy approaches Sam to apologize for spying on her and offers her a parting gift, signaling a shift in their relationship and the unfolding tension within the Malestrazza building. Jimmy presents Sam with Malestrazza's journal, providing her with valuable insights. Sam discovers from the journal that there must be a large, central space within the building. To explore further, Jimmy goes to the roof to search for an entrance to this hidden space, but he fails to return. Worried, Sam and her boyfriend embark on a search for Jimmy and eventually locate a massive shaft in the building's center. They hear Jimmy calling from the shaft, stating that he is injured. Sam decides to descend using a rope to help him. Initially, everything goes smoothly, but suddenly, Peter is fatally injured by someone with a sharp object. Sam witnesses Peter's death and falls to the bottom of the shaft. Sam awakens at the bottom of the shaft, where she is startled to find another person, Malestrazza, the architect she thought was dead and entombed in the wall. Malestrazza holds a radio, which plays a recording of Jimmy's voice requesting help. Jimmy sends her a letter from above, in which he explains that he will keep her in the shaft until she learns to love him. He also mails her demolition report to her father and submerges her car in a lake, creating the illusion that Sam is on vacation with her boyfriend. In the shaft, Mallestraza discloses a shocking revelation. He admits that he was the mastermind behind the murders of the 16 people who were entombed in the wall. Mallestraza believed that the longevity of ancient Egyptian monuments was achieved through rituals during construction, involving the burial of living victims within the walls. Moreover, Mallestraza reveals that one of the victims was Mary's husband, leading to Mary's decision to imprison him in the shaft as an act of revenge, ensuring he remains a lifelong prisoner. After the shocking revelation about Mallestraza's imprisonment and the fact that Mary had deceived everyone by identifying other victims' bodies as Mallestraza's, the situation becomes even more dire. Jimmy returns to the hole and sends down a cassette tape. On the tape, Jimmy expresses his desire to see Sam and Mallestraza dance. Mallestraza informs Sam that they must obey Jimmy's orders to maintain his favor. If they disobey, Jimmy can be cruel and imaginative. Reluctantly, Sam agrees to dance, but when Jimmy instructs them to kiss, she refuses. Mallestraza forces her to kiss him, but after a few seconds, Jimmy intervenes, warning Mallestraza not to touch Sam again. As a reward for their obedience, Jimmy sends down a basket containing food, water, and a two-way radio. Sam is advised to keep the radio with her so they can communicate and stay close. Later that night, Mary discovers Sam in the hole with Mallestraza and is shocked. Sam screams for help, and Mary, fearing exposure to the authorities, realizes that Sam must remain in the hole with Mallestraza. Otherwise, she might report the incident to the police, and Mary and Jimmy would face severe consequences. In the afternoon, Sam's father and his demolition team, armed with Sam's report, arrive at the apartment. They begin setting up the explosives to prepare for the building's demolition. Meanwhile, Sam remains trapped in the hole with Mallestraza, continuing to attempt to seduce Jimmy in the hope that he will free her to save her from the impending explosion. Unfortunately, her efforts are in vain. Mallestraza, seeing Sam's futile attempts, advises her to conserve her energy. He then proceeds to dig a tomb he has designed, complete with several pipes connected to a cement tank. Mallestraza believes that the building will survive the demolition if an additional person is buried alive. He decides to sacrifice himself to save the building and requests that Sam kill him. After some hesitation and taunting, Sam eventually kills Mallestraza. He thanks her as he falls into the tomb, and it begins to fill with cement. Outside the building, Mary keeps Jimmy calm as they set up and install the explosives for the impending demolition. As the countdown for the demolition begins, Jimmy has a change of heart. He screams Sam's name and rushes toward the building. Sam's father orders them to stop the countdown. Sam is safely lifted out of the hole and placed in an ambulance, away from the impending demolition site. Mary is arrested for her involvement in the kidnapping of Mallestraza. In the end, Sam narrates that Mallestraza had constructed 27 buildings, and all of them are still standing. He considered this particular apartment building his masterpiece and did not want it to be demolished. In his sacrifice to save the building, he left it as his legacy. As a sign of respect, this building will not be demolished and will endure as a tribute to Mallestraza's vision and artistry.